abstract expressionism arrived to the avant-garde point very strongly. Few artists, not so many, some in Italy, some in France, some in England, some in America, in the States. What it was the concept of abstract expressionism, or the sign, or the individual sign of the artist. For example, in Italy there was Capogrossi that was making a sign and repeating this sign in many, many different ways. It was a black sign with a little bit like euro. It was a sign like that. Repeated in many, many, many ways. But it was an individual sign. Abstract expressionism in New York, they were like Franz Klein, Rothko, starting from Pollock. They were making their own individual subjective expression. Expression, but it was just like a personal symbol, very personal. It was not related anymore to any concept of society. Art and society were totally divided. No representation of religion, no representation of the king or the power or illustration of social life. Only individual side. And for the first time, art arrived in this way to the maximum of freedom and autonomy. Artist was totally free, no dependent. It was not dependent to from anyone. That was for me very, very important. But it is very dramatic also, the position of the artist being responsible of him or herself in the sense of the global. And the global world was concentrated in the decision of the individual, or the expression of the individual. And this was kind of dramatic, because many of these artists, they killed themselves, or they died because of alcohol, drugs, or things like that. But they couldn't sustain that responsibility of the individual side. I started to work at that time. It is, how can myself recognize, identify myself, without repeating the same action done by other artists? It could become a kind of academic way to make your own sign. I create a sign and I go home. No, it was the heroic time of that decision of the autonomy. It was done. It was done by some name. What I could do, I decided to not define a sign or express a sign in abstract, but to recognize myself as a person, not as a sign, not as an abstract sign, but as a person. And it is, in order to do that, you need a mirror and to make the self-portrait. And in order to make a self-portrait, you have a mirror beside. But I didn't want to repeat what was done always in the past with the self-portrait that was presenting the artist alone, always alone. My problem, it was the rapport between my image and the world. I wanted to go back to the world, not just be isolated from the, like it was the abstract expression, the isolation of the individual. The discovery of the individual that was was me, in order to re-enter in the world, to see if it was possible to come back in the world. But that for that it was necessary to recognize the relation between myself and what is around myself. So that was myself, and that was what is around myself. And it was something that I couldn't understand. I couldn't really grasp. It is why, little by little, I tried to transfer the mirror from the side to the center. And it was done with this silver powder. It's a little bit brilliant. But I made gold, I made also other backgrounds. But it was not the point. And finally, in 61, I made a black background. And in this black and very shiny black, I start to see the reflection, the shadow, the reflection of light. This is not anymore a flat background, but it starts to become deeper. I see you, even if not so well, I start to see something moving into the painting. And for the first time, I paint my image looking more into the painting than into the glass side. It is why I needed that moment to make a step and to transform with this possible mirror in a real mirror. And it is why I arrived to the use of the stainless steel, polished stainless steel. This is passage 1, 2, and 3. This is not a work of the 62 because it's much. I did it much later, but the way of doing it is the same. You see the difference between this and this. You have the reflection and the figure inside very clearly reproduced in the mirror. And the image that was fixed, that is coming from my self-portrait, it was photographic. Because can you imagine something painted in this way there? Would not fit. Would not fit. This is fitting because it has the same quality of objectivity. It's not subjective. This is subjective. But this is objective. The camera is like the eye, takes the image the same way my eyes take the image of the reflection. So they can be combined. This has become the memory of the moment. In the reflection, each moment is passive. I move my arm, and the registration of the mirror is present in each movement of my heart, or the movement of anybody that is passing in front. But nothing stops. It's always going and going and going. And this is the going from the past to the future. Because in the mirror, we have the passage between something that each image it doesn't exist in the moment, and it stops to exist immediately after, and another image is coming. Even if it looks the same, but it's totally in movement, totally in transformation. We have the total transformation, and here we have the total fixing, something that doesn't change anymore, because it is the click of the the photography that stops the present. The present is stopped, and it becomes memory. And as a memory, it represents the past. This is the present, and this is the past. The past and the present, they finally live in the same space. They live in the same space. So you have the past and the present. Of course, but together now, they wait for the future of each moment. The future is coming in passage between the past and the present. This is the basic reason of this work. That is not, it is just the opposite of the action paper or the not action, the abstract expressionism. It's just the opposite. Because abstract expressionism is totally based on the self, and this is totally based on the objectivity and the phenomenology of something that is not me, is not my will. It's not my will. There's no my will here. There is only the verification of what's happening in the phenomenological system of time and presence and all what is inside of it, because we have the opposite, static and dynamic, past and present. We have the oppositions that start to live together. And the mirror becomes very important because it makes the viewer protagonist. The viewer becomes part of that phenomenology. The phenomenon of the mirror painting is our phenomenon. It's ourself, everybody. Ourself in the world, ourself in the system of the movement, of the universal movement of the things. So this is the phenomenology of of the mirror painting. If you go ahead and you look more and you think more, you find that everything in the mirror that is the representation of what is in front. It's not an invention of something else. It's just the truth is the truth on the reality. The mirror cannot mentire. It cannot lie. So in this sense is the truth. Is the truth on something, on the reality. The word truth it doesn't mean something that is standing by itself. The truth is the truth on something. Something is true or something is not. It is not the truth as an autonomous word. It's related. It's a relation. So the mirror is the truth or the reality. On the reality. So because it is the truth on the reality, I can read reality to the truth of the mirror. And I start to consider what is the world, what is the reality. For example, what you find in the mirror is the relativity. Nothing is the same, always. Nothing is there forever. Nothing is preconceived. Everything is there. Everything is there, but it's always different. But it is always the fact that you come from one side, I come from the other. I give you the hand. And this is the relativity of the fact that we are here in this time and we give us the hand. But it's not predetermined. We determine that possibility. It is the relativity. The relativity. Relativity means that there is a factor that combines everything. A factor. And in Italian we call this factor, we can call il caso, the chance. Is the chance. caso, the chance. In Italian, caso can be related with the word chaos. Caso and chaos, they are the same word. They are the same. Right. It is only the same word. And the chaos is inside there. Nothing is fixed. Nothing is sure. Nothing. It's chaos. So the relativity and the chaos are there. But they are not there because it's the mirror. Because the mirror is showing what is the reality. So the chaos. What is the chaos? It's the only possible order. This is perfect. The order of the mirror is perfect. But it's the chaos at the same time. So many things came from the examination of the mirror painting. It was possible because of this duality of static and dynamic, past and future, past and present, front and back, going and coming, being and excluding, because I can be in front also, but try to exclude myself. Present and excluding. There is always this double possibility, and this double possibility I try to express. I don't know if you had this little book called Omnitheism and Democracy. I speak about the theorema of the trinamic. It's always the combination between two things produce another thing that never existed before. So the mirror painting is trinamic because we have two opposite situations always, like absolute and relative. Because when I say that we have the relativity, it doesn't exclude the concept of absolute that is conceived as an opposite of the relativity. Relativity is always changing. Absolute is there forever. The absolutistic system is immobility. Allora, if you have in the mirror you have the continuous transformation. It is relativity. But what is the absolute? It is the relativity itself. The relativity, it doesn't have any possibility of giving space to something different. So the relativity is the absolute. The absolute is not something outside, something that is excluded by the relativity. It's included in the relativity because the relativity is everything. It's all. So it's at the same time changing and totally involving everything. As you see, these mirrors, they are not vertical but horizontal, because I wanted to exclude the eyes, the reflection of the face. I wanted to exclude ourselves. I wanted the mirror to be presented by itself, alone, without. This is like the figure, like the photo that is fixed in front, because it's something that doesn't change, and it is the memory. It's a memory that is the past that is coming to the present as a memory. And this is the present that is always changing. The fashion, something that you use in life, and it's going on until the end. And it arrives always to an end. Like the fashion, it is something that is glamour today, is shit tomorrow. It is the transformation. So this is what is never changing, and this is what is always changing. But this, it can be a certain moment, something that is taking space and place in a negative way. But with this idea of relation, of this beauty coming from the past, and the garbage today, it makes the ensemble, the entire situation, a concept of recycling. The past is recycling the present. Because the art of the past is transforming this garbage into something sumptuous, something new. Color become alive again. The material become alive again. It is a kind of recycling possibility of combination again of two elements that produces the third situation, that is the dynamic that I expressed before. Just in order to make it simple, after you can talk a long time also about that, on politics, about economy, about many things. It can be a symbol of this dynamic of transformation. This is the sign of art. This is the sign of art. You see many different objects that you can use, but they have always the same shape. The same shape. When somebody asks me what is the difference between design and art, the creativity used by the design, it is connected with the object itself, with the need of the object. If you want to produce a certain number of the same object that can be useful for the normal life, you have to make the design adapted to the material, adapted to the use that will be done. In this case, there is no design adapted to the use, adapted to the material. The design is the same for all use and all materials. It's the same. So that means that there is a concept, that is the concept made by art, that is excluded, that is not related with directly with the system of producing, of production. No, because it is the concept that is giving the form to the practical things. But it is the concept that is dominating. It's not the material and the use. The use is secondary. It comes to the necessity of expressing a concept. And the concept is the maximum extension of the body, of the human body. There you see the reason of that sign. You have some questions on that? You have some questions? It is like I like in the mirror paintings. You have an artistic concept that is bringing the images, working with memory and present and all that. But at the same time, you can use it. You can use it in a daily way. You can, no, you don't have to do it, but you can shape yourself. You can put the red on your lip. You see, it can be also practical. This is exquisitely artistic, but it can be also practical. You can sit down.
It's being practical.
You can use it. But the concept is there. It's often it can offer itself to the life. It can go also outside, around, much bigger, or it can be inside.
Was it also commissioned, or it's just the work that you came up with?
No, this is the work I've done. I didn't sell this work. Va bene?
Grazie mille.
So now you understand why for me, society has to be something to take care after the possibility of understanding something that is the relation between intellectual process and practical process. When this is like that, it is the way we see it, because it's moving. Everything is moving so slow that we don't see it.